We have now interrupted your regularly scheduled programming to bring you
the beta male and the alpha male. Some of you women got this really messed up. A beta male is just a personality type that is not as strong or not as outgoing and aggressive and assertive as an alpha. But that person is still a man. The beta male is the male that's going to take care of you. He's going to worship you. He's going to please you. That's his whole agenda. That alpha male, you don't please him. And he's only going to please a lioness. And half of y'all out there ain't a lioness. So a lot of you are out here that was designed for a beta to protect you and to cater to your crazy ass. You don't want him because you think he's too soft. But you want to go over there with the king of the jungle like he gonna take your shit. Ain't no alpha male taking no shit from nobody unless you a lioness. Part 2. There's nothing wrong with being a beta male, but there's something wrong with some of you women out there. A lot of you have overbearing personalities like myself. But see, I know my place when it comes to a man, so I can date a beta or an alpha. I can date a beta because I know that his personality flaws or dysfunction or whatever he may have, all I have to do is not treat him bad and abuse him. Allow him to worship me. Allow him to do the things that he wants to do for me. And see, that alpha, he just wants respect. And you gonna respect him because the alpha either gonna make you respect him or you gonna get gone. A lot of you women out here are talking down about the beta when you're really made for a beta. You're not made for an alpha because an alpha has a superior purpose and you ain't a Michelle Obama.
All right, and welcome back to yet another edition of the Warheads. I am Apocalypto Joe.
I'm Roscoe Brown.
And I'm Knuckles.
And as usual, we want to remind you to like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell notification so that you get our shows when they are released. That being the case, today I want to have a discussion with you guys about the man versus the Mac. As you can see at the beginning of the video, we had a short clip of this young woman talking about the difference between alpha male and a beta male. That essentially is what a man and a Mac are. With that being the case, when you look around the world today, people are having these discussions because women want an alpha male, men are trying to be in their alpha frame, their masculine frame. So it's to say that betas are a waste of time, they're weak, impotent, you name it. But I wanted to get you guys' take on the Mac versus the man. Go in, Warheads.
The Mac versus the man versus the Mac. What we have here seems to be what we would call substance versus flash, if you will. And that's all we're dealing with here is the difference between those two. And the alpha represents substance. He represents all the things that all the nutrients that you would want in a full course meal, and the beta represents junk food. You know, so that's all that I hear when I listen to this young lady, and you know, when she gives her breakdown of the two. But yeah, no, that's all it is. And what you have with the beta, when I talk about flash and the lack of substance, is for whatever reason, the beta brings a lot of things to the table that women are easily attracted to. With the beta, they're easily controlled. They're easily controllable men, so that's one thing. But they do a lot of promise of big things and a lot of this, and you know, lead with their pocketbooks and those type of things. So they're never these type of people who will bring anything valuable to the relationship, and instead I'll worry about all the superficial that exists out here. So that's all.
Knuckles?
Well, let's see. The man versus the Mac, more like reality versus fantasy, huh?
Yeah.
Well, today's women today's people are pretty much, that's all they thinking about is fantasy. The very next fix. What's going to happen today? What's going to be more exciting? And study facing reality and what things are right now. I mean, I'm pretty much sure you guys, me, myself, you guys have never faced a pandemic, corona, super virus in our era. We've never went through this. So you definitely need somebody who's nailed down, head on strong to lead you through this path, or you guys lead each other together. Because the fantasy part is just what it is. It's just the top coat of something. It's like you see a pretty car and it's beautiful. It's a pretty car, but the inside crap. That's pretty much what the Mac is. He promises you everything, but basically in the end of this, it's gonna be crap. But then I'm gonna say this real quick. It's then, you know, with real men, we're losing, because after the Mac get through with you, who wants the sloppy 23rds, the sloppy 30s? Who wants that? You know? And I'm just keeping it real. And it ain't even gotta be a sexual thing. It could just be your mental all screwed up because you dealt with so many Macs and you think everybody you run across is a Mac. No, baby, it's a man out here. Somebody who like paying the bills, somebody who like to have things and things like that, and not lie to you all the time.
Right. I find it interesting that you state that, because I have to disagree with you, Roscoe. I don't think that all betas are created equal. Me, myself, I count myself as a Sigma. Sigma is basically an alpha that refuses to play this stupid game of King of the Hill. However, I was on Instagram and we all know the crooner, Tyrese Gibson. He just had a movie released, Fast 9 or something, but he posted something on Instagram, and it goes a little something like this. He says, when a woman is with a real man, and he puts real man in all caps, by the way, she will no longer feel the need to wear the pants in the relationship. Women, I don't know why never mind. Adjectives, brother, school. Women being beautifully sweet, girly, soft, nurturing is her natural state. We as real alpha men, once again in all caps, and air quotes might I add you, so he don't even really understand. Got alpha covered in relationships. Don't let anyone convince you otherwise. Toxic masculinity, pure BS. Protect the alpha male at all costs. And so I was in the comments, of course, and I told him this is dog whistling, because he's just basically calling out to all the women who are lazy and don't understand the reciprocal nature of a relationship. But the reason why I take issue with this statement to Tyrese Gibson is because didn't his woman just divorce him recently, his wife? He could have, you know, that he wasn't alpha enough to keep his wife. A few years back, didn't his woman have him crying on social media, sobbing, teared up about wasn't his baby? I don't think alphas get their babies taken away from them.
No, that was very alpha. You know, oh, it's very, you know, those were alpha tears, bro.
And so when I hear men say this, Knuckles, you said it best. It's this fantasy. You know, Mr. Gibson, he's been living in Hollywood for a very long time, and he only considers himself out because of the money he makes. He's really just a caked up simp at the end of the day. He's able to pay bills. He's saying he's able to do things and take care of this woman just because he has millions of dollars. I've seen his houses and his transformers in his yard and all this other nonsense. But that's why a man like Tyrese would say such a thing, because he got it covered. Oh, babe, you want a $100,000 car? I got that covered. He's basically just a rich simp. So he doesn't even understand what alpha principles are versus what it means to be a beta. Like Roscoe, you did say he leads with his pocket. Right. However, when you hear something like this, I'll hand this over to you guys. What are your takeaways from something like what Mr. Tyrese Gibson would say, alpha? is and what he allows a woman to be, per se.
No, I just think that again, and I just want to go back to what I said about the whole alpha beta thing, because I'm man, that's just my personal thing. I'm not really a guy who really subscribes to that kind of language, kind of, when I hear it, that's kind of what it means to me. So whatever it really means, it is what it is. But yeah, Tyrese and his whole deal, and guys like him who are going through these situations, and if you stand firm in your beliefs and do what you need to do as a male, as a man, in these situations, just hold true to just real man shit, when you're dealing with anybody in general, much less the person who you're in a relationship with. You want to be able to relate to your mate, even to them, that even if you disagree with them, I'm holding firm to my decision, because any woman who doesn't respect that in the first place anyway is somebody who you wouldn't want to be with. So to flip it on the woman, a woman should actually respect a man who would set boundaries and set limits, as opposed to wanting to give her everything.
I pass it.
So that's just my thought on that whole deal.
Yeah. I agree with you, Rodney, 100%. Now, gentlemen, I consider everybody on this panel as an alpha. Why? Because we are leaders, and everybody can't lead. Just face it. And with alphas, when it comes down to leading, that's physical, mental, and the whole shebang, spiritual, all that. You're the leader of the household. You're the first person people see, the last person to go to bed to make sure everybody good. See, that gentleman Tyrese got alpha all fucked up. He got the whole thing messed up. He think having money and fame is alpha material. No, there are thousands of people out here who got mad money and things like that, the new cars, the newest toys, but they're not alphas. They're really just children with new things. So it's unfortunate our women have been taught by their mothers to always deal with somebody with money. They didn't never tell them to deal with somebody with responsible money. Somebody who has a good head on his shoulder and he got money, but you just told them to go after the pocket. So the ladies of today, they don't know the difference between reality and fantasy. Because reality, this is the guy you're going to be with 54, 50, 60 years from now. The guy that's doing the real thing. This fantasy guy, he either going to be gone in the wind, or he done died from lupus or sugar diabetes, or he done just dropped off the face of the planet. That's the ending role of anybody who plays, as my friend Rodney say, being the sweet tooth, the sugar. You being the sugar don't last long. Ladies, y'all need to wake the hell up, because there are good men out here, and there are also good fake people too. Fake people that's gonna lead you down the wrong road.
Good in the beginning, fake in the long. What I came across this article, interestingly enough, on goodhousekeeping.com. It says why women find the bad boys, or the Mac, as they say, so attractive, even though they know they're trouble. I think this plays more so into the psychology of a woman. Knuckles, I think you keep hitting the nail right on the head when it comes to falling in love with a fantasy. But I want to do a breakdown of this article. And so I'm going to lob some statements up to you guys for the bullet points that were left on this article. And we don't have to do an extremely deep dive on here, but just to give our insight on what the heck is going on. So it brings out that apparently women want their sperm, but not necessarily their partnership. And it brings out that science in particular, the evolutionary biology, explains why bad boys can be so appealing. it says that women find them more attracted, find that they're more attracted to masculine men during the middle of their menstruation cycle when they're most fertile. You know, it says men with very masculine traits may have better quality genes so they can be attractive to women. So, what's you guys' take on that? Like, just because she's menstruating, she's like, I want a bad boy. Me and Roscoe, we talked about this before. We never did a show on it. But when a woman is menstruating, not menstruating, but before she menstruates, that's when she's most horniest. And so I think that's what's playing into this. But what's you guys' take on this? I gotta know.
Knuckles, you can go ahead.
Oh, well, guys, it's sick and twisted. That's all I can say. I mean, I love my ladies, I do. But once again, we got to remember that they're feeling. And anybody who does 90% of their feeling, you know, everything they do it with feeling. It ain't always correct. So in this case, ladies, when you come on your cycle and you at your peak of being at your horniest, guess what? A real man can do the same thing that this fake dude can do. But then you get trapped with this fool. Lady, that's the biggest hoax. That's just like the biggest hoax that the devil made was that he didn't exist. I mean, this is the same thing. It's the same idea. Oh, baby, I'm the best. I'm this, I'm that. But action speaks louder than words. You know, I feel sorry for a lot of our ladies who get caught up in the storm with the Mac, because in the end of that, you ended up two ways. You ended up used, or a lot of children and used. You end up getting the double bubble. And then when you go looking for the real man turned you down, and now we dogs now because we don't want the sloppy 99th, 2050th of everybody else.
Wait, Roscoe, since you passed on that, the second point in this article, it says bad boys free women from the pressure of being good girls. What's your take on that?
Bad boys free girls from that. Wait, say that question again.
It says bad boys free women from the pressure of being good girls.
Oh yeah, no, that actually leads into kind of just what I was thinking about, man. Accountability. You know what I mean? And that's I think that's the big takeaway that's the thing that women should take away from this if they're watching, is that regardless of whatever decision that you make, you still have to you're still responsible for that in the end. It's just like for the guys, you know what I mean? Like if we happen to be having sex with you, raw dog, and we nut inside you, we have to be responsible for that because we made that decision to stay inside of you instead of pull out. So it's just like for you on the other end, when you dealing with whoever you dealing with, you're making that decision on that person. So whether if he's a bad guy and you find out in the end that this dude that you knew had questionable kind of a way of being, you know, and you find out in the end that he does something very questionable and crazy, you know, you can't throw your hands up at that point.
Right.
So it just is what it is, man. I know I've said this in a lot of shows, but it's big accountability, man.
One thing that it brings out, it says girls possess a range of traits like rebelliousness. It says traits are typically repressed during childhood as females are socialized to be compliant and agreeable. And so this part of the story of the article where it says rebelliousness, that is a childhood trait. Because as you get older, you are supposed to sit up here and understand that there's a way of doing things where things can flow smoothly like a river, as opposed to dealing with the nonsense that comes with rebelliousness. Rebelliousness leads you to be locked up. It's a lot of adversity in your life. It's going against the grain unnecessarily. However, The article goes on to bring out, and Knuckles, you can take this one. It says, boys, it says they're exciting, different, and forbidding. What's your take on that?
Well, all that is true. I mean, most bad boys, honestly, I'm trying to make sure you guys can see me. Honestly, most bad boys, and this is not being racist to my own people. Let me put that out there. Honestly, the bad boy criteria is unemployed, not responsible, not dedicated, not loyal. So with these 4 things, these are 4 things that women, real women, are looking for. So when you go out here in the world, because I can't say that every time you turn around, there's a good guy. So let's just say out of 20 guys, there are 2 good guys out of this 20. You got to go through the whole 18 before you say, you know what, maybe I need to call, and one of these good guys will come across me. But as we all know, everything that's bad, we always like. You know, if the bad boy speeding past the police and say, fuck the police, you say, yeah, fuck the police. You know, if you get out and beat a motherfucker's ass and you don't know what the reason is, you right there cheering them on. Yeah, stomp that motherfucker, yeah. That's the kind of bad boy shit you like. But then when he whooping your ass, it's like he got through whooping dude ass. Now you talking about, oh Lord, what have I done? That's the pleasure.
What's crazy is, you know, me and Apocalypto, we actually found out that, you know, they get turned on by these things. They actually get stimulated. There's a stimulus that happens when, you know, these type of things are happening with these bad guys, these questionable individuals.
Right. The article brings out, it says the energy between us is explosive, which resulted in incredible sex and but also fights. The woman who's they're quoting. So like you said, when that energy is turned on them, then they're like, what are we gonna do?
Yeah.
Brings out bad boys can seem taboo. It says when we want something we can't or shouldn't have, our desire for it grows exponential. But I'll leave that there because we're going to do a follow-up on this topic. They also bring up how they think that the bad boys will protect them. Roscoe, take that one for me.
It's funny how that is, because more times than not, they need protection from the bad boy because he's going upside their fucking head. But yeah, no, it's ridiculous to think that just that these type of people are people they will look to for protection, you know. But it just speaks to the type of mindset that these women have, because any real woman who has any real sense would know what real protection constitutes. You know what I mean? So knowing that real protection actually not only comes from a man being able to physically protect you, but to bring all the other things that kind of build up a wall against certain things or protects you from certain things from happening. So yeah, the real man is going to build up those type of securities and those type of walls for you, to where you won't have to feel, you know, you won't feel helpless or anything. But yeah, these other type of assholes, you know, yeah, there's some who, you know, they're either physically opposing or just willing to go in because they so wild and, you know, they're untamed, if you will. But yeah, that doesn't make for responsible.
Right. The article brings out, it says it's likely that some women feel more protected by the tough guy and his ease with aggression. However, it says there's no one to act as a buffer if that aggression turned around and comes your way. For the sake of time, it brings out that bad boys are projects. It says that women are often into fixer-uppers or interested in projects that use a lot of their skills, charm, and persuasiveness. Also, it brings out when they try to convert bad boys that they're repeating old patterns. What did this Sigmund Freud say? That I don't know if it was Sigmund Freud, but they said that if you continually to do the same thing over and over again, that's a sign of insanity. So
I feel like that was Einstein.
it was somebody smart. But this shows the insane nature of a lot of women, not all, but a lot of them. If you keep going after bad boy, trying to get this person to be a particular way. Also, it says the bottom line, it says proceed with caution. It says in a lot of instances, these women feel like that if they can convert a bad boy to being a good guy, that they are the prize. And so again, we see the narcissism being engaged when it comes to these women that go after these particular types of dudes. So before we get out of here, who's the winner at the end of the day? Is it the man or the Mac, in your opinion? I already know what you guys are going to say according to your comments. Who's the winner when it's all said and done?
In my estimation, I mean, just, and I hate to say this, just from what we're seeing, and on a superficial level, it was saying that the Mac is winning, only because, again, it just goes to the mindsets of these women. A lot of these women out here, they just are picking a lot of the wrong guys with a lot of the wrong traits. And that's what it is. So that's what would make it seem like the man is losing. But yeah, when it's all said and done, I just think that the man ultimately wins, because if you're like, for me, I always look at it from this aspect. When you're not having to deal with one of these superficial chicks, or put yourself in that predicament, things turn out a lot better for you. Trust me. You're doing a lot better for yourself. You'll be a lot better off holding off until somebody who is the right person comes along, as opposed to wasting a lot of time and creating a lot of stress for yourself by dealing with the wrong person.
Well, I got to agree with what my man Rodney is talking about 100%, because to me, both between the man and the Mac, they both come out zero. They both lose, because one, the Mac started the drama. He the one with the fantasy, pumping this girl up or these women up, saying, "Oh, you the most everything in my life," and he's cheating. He's doing everything but the opposite thing they want him to do. So this stuff don't happen over time. I mean, this stuff don't happen overnight. I'm sorry, y'all, but it happens over time. And time can mean months, years, 10 years, 15, depending on how silly this person is that's going to stay with this person. But by the time the breakup comes and years then pass and she comes across a real man, this is where the real man loses at. Because if he hypothetically takes her in, she's going to treat him like a Mac and study like the man. She's going to do everything. She's going to be going through his phone. She's going to be doing everything, anything he do. If he got female friends, she's going to be on him. But that's not his fault. That's her fault for choosing the wrong person.
All right. Well, as usual, we want to leave this up to you, the audience, to come to all your own conclusions. Like, comment, subscribe, hit that bell notification. Warheads out.
Deuces.